Listen to these names: Winston Churchill, Margaret Thacher, Mike Tyson, Madonna, Madeleine Albright, Colin Powell, Donald Trump. Quite a company, isn't it? These all are very unique personalities with very different biographies, but they all have something in common. According to some experts, it is very likely that they all share the same type of information metabolism. In socionics, this type is called Sensory Logical Extrovert. It is also known as Conqueror. Usually, it is a very strong character. And if we look at model A of this type with extroverted sensing in channel 1, it becomes a bit more clear why it is so. Figuratively speaking, these people are very territorial. To them, a territory can be anything, starting from their family and home, to the share of market, or amount of fame they are receiving, or political influence they are enjoying. They are very well aware of their own territory and the territory of their competition. And it is quite often that their ambitions stretch well beyond their current area of influence. It stretches into territories of other people. And if that is the case, Conqueror can be very decisive, very persistent in achieving his or her goals. Hence the Conqueror. It is also very likely that they would try to climb up any hierarchy they find themselves in. And frequently they are quite successful, at least to some extent, mainly because it is no problem for them to assume responsibility. All in all, I think we can say that for conquerors, being in action is sort of their preferred way of existence. Now, channel 2, it tells us how people achieve their goals that have been set by channel 1. And in case of Conqueror, it is quite obvious. It is done by means of introverted logic. In other words, in a very systematic and structural manner. Usually they look at achieving their goals as of kind of getting from point A to point B. So they go step 1, step 2, step 3, etc. And if there are, well, life usually is not that straightforward. So, but if there are any variables on the way, they can switch from variant A to variant B. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter how you do it. You just reach the goal. And yes, it is a very effective, very straightforward way of doing things, and not everyone can bear with that. This is why conquerors are often respected, but it is not that often that they are really loved. As we will see later, it is a bit of an Achilles heel for this type of personality. Okay, now let's switch to channel 3, which is an area of anxiety and fear. For this particular type, there is extroverted intuition in this channel, which means that they actually hate if there is harmony and everything is in order around them. I know it sounds unbelievable, but I will try to explain why. Imagine that there is a long existing order of things, well-established system, let's say a company with well-established procedures and whatnot. Everyone knows his or her place and everyone is supposed to follow their daily routines. And then suddenly a new person steps in whose strength is in being in action, in doing things, in getting things done. In such an organization, there simply is no place for this person. There are no challenges. So there is no other way than to break the existing routines and break the system. In other words, ruin the harmony. And now, when it has been done, building out of chaos is when you can get to the top of the ladder and leave those safety and harmony loving people behind. Now you can increase the market shares and achieve bigger profits. As if that was not enough, there is more for these people. Actually, these people are most successful in times of war, crisis, and disasters. And believe it or not, if there is no war, no crisis, they can create it. Being it at home, starting arguing with their family members, being it at work, arguing with their peers. They can do it market-wise, they can do it country-wise, they can do it world-wise. Everything depends what their area of influence is at that particular moment. And if you ask them why they are doing all this, they may rationalize about lots of things and give you hundreds of reasons why the existing course of things is not good enough anymore. But be aware that whatever are the reasons, the pattern remains the same. Harmony contradicts their spirit of action. And it repeats itself whenever a new order is established. Area of anxiety and fear.